Hey guys, it's me, Bluffamuchuck here, and welcome back to another episode of um, Redstone Creations. Now, these are becoming more common. That's because I had a lot of more time to work with my cohort in Redstone, Snoopy 1500, to make some more stuff like this. But if you don't know, me and him are working on a map called Facility 1500. I have made a video on my channel about it, but uh, we decided to make this for the map. Now, here's a little bit of backstory. If you've played FV Disco's Cake Defense 2, you will have known that he had a system of upgrades for his armor, tools and weapons and stuff, where you can upgrade what kind of armor you get. Now, basically what me and Snoopy 1500 recreated is that exact system. So basically, the thing that Cake Defense 2 and Facility 1500 have in common is that they're all wave-based games where you'll have a wave, and then you can do your upgrades, and then next wave, you can use your upgrades, and so on and so forth. So basically, what I made this small little room is to simulate that kind of thing. Here is our armor meter. Right now, we don't have any purchased, so none of these are popped out, but I'll show that in a second. Let's just pretend that this is our start wave button. You'll note right now it's not going to do anything because, first off, this isn't a wave-based game. This is just a test. And second, because we don't have any power-ups or anything. But let's just pretend that if I hit this button, a whole bunch of zombies would come out and start attacking us. But let's say that we wanted armor. What we can do is we can come up to this armor button, purchase it for 30 XP points. You'll note that I have plenty of XP. You hit the button, you'll see the stuff in the command block, and this brown will pop out. Basically, that signifies that we have armor level 1, which is actually leather. So let's say we've used our 30 levels to get leather armor, and we want to start our round. We'll hit our start round button. It will do a quick teleport thing, and we just made it glass for now. But now, if I look into my inventory, I'm wearing level 1 armor, which is just leather with unbreaking. Of course, you can change that later. Now, I can stay at this for a while, and every time I, let's say my chest plate gets destroyed in this round. Every time I start a new round, it will put me through that pot again, and I will get a renewed set of armor, even if it only has a slight damage. Now, let's say I upgrade it again. You may be saying, what, cobblestone armor? There's no really good way to signify chainmail, so he chose to do cobblestone. So, basically, now what happens is if we start our round, it'll do the setup, but this time we'll have our chainmail with protection 2. And, of course, we can upgrade again, which iron, and now we have our iron armor. And once more for diamond armor, with a lot of cool stuff on it. Now, at this point, if you were to hit this button, there's a few bugs in this system that I kind of decided to not really worry about as of right now. But if you were to hit this, it would take away 30 levels from you and do nothing. So, yeah. Let me time set day. Now, I took plenty of time to explain how this all works thoroughly because the redstone here is about to get really complicated. Now, yeah, let's just take a look at it. All right. This isn't part of it. In reality, it's actually not that bad for what it's doing. Basically, I'm just going to hit this button. This will reset. You'll note in the sidebar right now I have my armor level, which is 4. That signifies, leather, cobble, 4 levels. I'm at the highest right now. Basically, I'll hit this button, which will set my armor to 0 and then reset these pistons. So that's basically what I just did there. So now you'll note I'm back at here, and when I hit this, it won't do anything. It actually will remove your armor at the beginning of the round. If you have just reset it, which is a little bit weird. So I guess if you just reset this, then when you start a round, it'll remove your armor. Oh, maybe I had armor. I don't know. But it will remove your armor when it gets you the new ones. So, anyways, let's get into how this works. I'm gonna go through this really quick, a quick draft as to how it works. Oh, I might as well note that if I have XP minus 10,000 levels, if I have no levels, it will not allow me to upgrade. And let's say I have 26 levels. If I no, is it 30? I thought it was 25. I guess it is. Oh, 8 levels. You'll note that if I was to get this, it will upgrade, and afterwards, it will not. So, it does work with the amount of levels that I have. So let me just reset this again. So first off, we have 2 signals from the button. We have this this repeater and this redstone, which is why you'll note that there's stairs there, so that this redstone is not shown. But anyways, the top row goes into this command block, which basically tests for somebody who's on the team player 1 with at least 30 levels. So basically, it will make sure that there's somebody with 30 levels and that it's player 1. Now, how this is going to work in the final map is each player will have their own different store, and it will basically determine what team they're on, what player they are, because when the game starts, they will each join a team. This one, player 1, and player 2 will join player 2, and yeah. But this will search for a player 1 with 30 levels, and if it finds one, it will extend this piston, where if this is extended a few ticks later, the second signal will come in and go through here. Now, the reason that we have it rather than this just going straight to the next part is because comparators, like, let's say this succeeded once, but the next time it didn't, it would kind of jam up the system because it doesn't give a it doesn't give like a pulse. If it's successful, it stays on until it fails. So basically, what we're doing here is making sure that it checks to make sure that that's true, and then if it is, this piston will be in the way. If it's not, it won't, and then the signal can go through. So yeah, that's basically needed to make sure absolutely that there's a player there with 30 levels. 100%. This is the way to verify it 100%. And what happens with this signal when it comes through is it goes into these 2 command blocks. All right. It basically adds the person who's on the team player 1. So basically, if it succeeds, it will add 1 point to the armor score. Which, if it's at 0, it'll go to 1. If it's at 2, it'll go to 3. 3 go to 4. 2 to 3. And basically, what the second conditional here is it makes sure that the armor it makes sure that you can't go over this section here. Here, wait. Is it Control Shift? Oh, yeah, no, that wasn't right. I don't know. The section that's score underscore armor equals 3 basically makes sure that you can't go over the level 4, because it's saying that the maximum level that you can be at for it to add 1 is 3. So that if you're at level 3, it can add 1, but if you're not at level 3, it can't add 1. So if you're at level 4, it won't let you add 1 more. So that's what that's for. And then this second one here subtracts 30 levels, because you have to pay for it, right, from the person who's on player 1 if he has 30, if he has at least 30 levels, and his score underscore armor equals 4. See, we couldn't really get this right. As I said before, if you already have the highest level, it still takes away XP, and that's what we tried fixing with the score underscore armor equals 4. We wanted to make it so that yeah, it just didn't work. So this was trying to prevent you from getting charged if you already bought all of them, but we couldn't figure that out. But anyways, then the signal will get brought up this way and to all of these command blocks. This line here basically is just the reset, because it needs to power all these command blocks to reset, and I'll explain that in a second. But each of these tests for the player 1, and it tests to see if the armor score is equal to whatever piston. So okay, this one checks to make sure that that there's a player with at least 1, and if so, it will turn on this comparator, turning on this. So if your armor score is 1 and this gets flashed, it'll extend that. Same thing for 2. This comparator will go on, turning on that. 3, same for that, and 4, same for that. So that's basically how the pistons extend. The reason the reset needs to come back here is because since this sets your score to 0, you need to make sure these comparators turn off, because as I said before, with this comparator, it will stay on until it's false. And if it's false, which we make sure, like if it's 0, that means if we change the armor to 0, that means all of these command blocks are false, because it's neither 4, 3, 2, or 1. You just need to make sure that it gets a pulse so that it turns off these comparators, and that's why the reset goes back to there. Alright, so we're almost there. So now you know how this bar works. It's pretty simple. Once you get over the facts of the it's pretty difficult. I'm not gonna lie, but if you get your head wrapped around it, it starts to become a little bit easier. Now, what is this mess of command blocks? Simply enough, when it starts the round, it checks to it teleports the player. This one teleports the player on team player 1 if they have the armor score of 1. So if they have leather armor, and that's doubled by this score underscore armor, it'll teleport them to these coordinates, which is the corresponding pod over here. This one. Basically all of these do similar. This one's for level 2, and it will bring it to the chain pod. This one's for level 3, and it'll bring it to the iron. This one's for level 4. It'll bring it to the diamond. And this basically will clear all of the it'll clear the player 1 of this ID, and basically from here to here, it's basically just getting rid of all the armor in your inventory. If I was to use this, I would expand upon the conditionals on here and make it so that it only clears armor if they have purchased it from here, because there's other ways of getting armor other than here. So just to be safe, I would make it so that there would be like a conditional to make sure that they've purchased armor first before clearing their armor. Message to Alex for the actual map, or Snoopy for the actual map. We'll need to change that. But other than that, basically it clears your armor and teleports you to the pods when the round starts, is what that line of command blocks does. And how the pods work, they're really simple. There's a pressure plate in there. It activates all these dispensers, which this one has helmets, this one has chests, pants, boots. So that gets activated, and if you didn't know, dispensers can put armor onto players. So you step on there, it puts the armor on you. It sets your spawn point to this pod so that if you die, it will equip you with the armor again. And then after a full repeater of delay, it will send you back to the store. Or the spawn button, depends where you do it. And this is the same thing for chain, except for there's chain in the dispensers, and iron, similar, and diamond, similar, you know. So, just one last demonstration of how it works now that you understand. Let me give myself 8,000 levels, or 80,000 levels. So, you buy it, you'll see it's set the score of armor to 1. It took the 30 levels from me. Now, if I hit this button, you'll see it teleported me to those coordinates. It set my spawn point to those coordinates, and it teleported me to the coordinates I'm standing at now. So, you buy it again. Set the score of armor to 2, and took 30 levels from me, and you'll see the there's a little bit different here because it says clear the inventory, removing 1 items. It'll say it 4 times, 1 for each piece of armor, and then it will set the spawn point and all that jazz. And you'll see that again with the iron. It'll clear the inventory, and same again. So now that you know how it works, I expect to see it in a lot more adventure maps because it is a pretty darn cool system. And you know what the best part about it is? Is that the actual display is 1 block wide. I think that blows my mind, honestly, because thinking of this complex machine, while we were trying to make it, there was so many points in the thing where, like, does it have to be 1 block wide? And we got it to I kept pushing for it, like, yes, 1 block wide so we can put multiple next to each other. Like, if we wanted to, we could have another one right here for, like, weapons, and it would work perfectly. We would just connect it with, you know, this right, and it would work awesome. You just add stuff to clear tools and such. Of course, I don't know. Yeah. So, other than that, I think I've explained everything here. Of course, this is just to, this is the commands to add the teams here. Scoreboard teams add player 1. That's how you add the player 1 team. scoreboard teams add player 2, and this is leaving. But to actually add the armor objective, you do scoreboard objectives add, name it. Well, we named it armor. It needs to be a dummy variable, and it needs to be called armor. So when I typed it in, it says an objective with the name armor already exists, but that's the command to make that. So it's a pretty cool system. Again, there's that one glitch with the well, not glitch, but the one problem where I can't get it to stop taking money from you, but I'm sure people aren't stupid enough to try to upgrade after they've filled the bar. But anyways, that would be it for this video, and I hope to see you guys on the next time. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.